So Bill Warner, the chairman and founder of Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance, gave me a call. And I know Bill, and Bill runs a fantastic event. It's a world-class Concours d'Elegance. In fact, this is its 20th anniversary, and last year it was voted the top concours in the world. So Bill calls and he said, look, John, we got to get these Lancias in the show. And I was certainly very excited to do that. And rally class with 4 iconic Lancias. How cool is that? So I said, Bill, of course, absolutely my pleasure. What can I do? And you're not going to put these cars in a trailer and drive them to Amelia Island. You're not going to wipe them down with diapers and just have them all shiny. They're rally cars, they're race cars. These things, worked for a living, right? These cars, raced, they competed, they got banged up. So putting them in a trailer and driving them up there, no, it doesn't quite work. So I said, listen, what can we do? So the notion came about of the road to Amelia. Preparing the cars, getting the cars ready, and then ultimately driving all 4 cars to Amelia Island.
Well, we featured rally cars for a couple of reasons. One, they're exciting. You don't see them over here. Professional rallying is more of a European phenomenon than it is here. We thought it would be a crowd pleaser. The cars are bizarre, festooned with road lamps, and they're a variation of a production car. So they kind of morph into something that's pretty aggressive and unknown in this particular market. He was excited about it. It made sense to him, and he's such a outgoing personality, and he just latched onto it right away and said, "Yeah, why don't we do that?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to mix it up with some other cars to tell a rally story." So it worked out real well. And then he came up with, "Why don't I just drive them to the show?" which was great.
I grew up in Ireland in the late 60s and early 70s, and we didn't have a lot going for us. We had a lot of unemployment, we had a lot of trouble in Northern Ireland, but we did have 3 things. 1978, we had Thin Lizzy, Rory Gallagher, and Billy Coleman. Billy Coleman was a farmer who happened to race rally cars, and he was world class. So in March of 1978, my father, my brother, and myself were in Killarney for the Circuit of Ireland Rally, which is part of the World Rally Championship. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, it's a Sunday morning, and we're out in the middle of a forest, and it's cold, it's dark, the sun's coming up, the mist is coming up off the ground. It's like Hobbit stuff, right? It's like from the movie. And I hear this screaming sound, and through the mist, around a corner comes this Lancia Stratos, and it's in the air sideways. And it was driven by Billy Coleman. And from then on, rallying Lancias were burned into my brain. So I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm now 52 years old. When I was 15 in Ireland, I saw this car, and how many years later I have the same car. And the thing about cars is cars are probably one of the few things that get passion out of people. It's an inanimate object, but if you sit in a car, it takes you somewhere, right? And I don't mean physically driving somewhere, but it takes you somewhere. You sit in an Aston Martin, and suddenly you're James Bond, right? It's this whole thing. You sit in a race car, and you're a race driver. You sit in a 1970 Ferrari, and you're a pop star driving to Paris for lunch. So, see the front of this, Andy? So we're going to drive these cars from the shop here to Amelia Island. We're going to go across the ferry, and we're going to show up with 4 screaming rally cars, scaring the neighbors, and driving from Jacksonville, Florida up to Amelia Island. And that's, for me, very, very exciting, because the 4 cars will be on the road together. And I think culminating with the cars pulling up to the Ritz-Carlton on the Thursday, we'll put them in the garage, and then we'll bring them back out on the Saturday and put them on the field. So it's kind of a celebration of the cars, and seeing the cars in their natural habitat, driving on the road. I got friends of mine driving the cars, I get to share my cars, and that's kind of what it's all about. It's the passion I have for these automobiles and sharing those with people, and my friends driving, And it's that sense of community and that sense of camaraderie that you can't get.
We got smoke. Smoke. Smoke in a Delta.
We're gonna take about 20 minutes. Gonna go back and send the truck back to get the trailer. I don't want to risk blowing up this engine. Okay. And then when he gets the trailer, we'll continue on.
Got it.
Trials and tribulations. We either lost a turbo or we lost the head gasket. So, at least we're here. So that's the good news. 1988, Lancia Delta Integrale World Championship winning car. I bought this car in Australia, found it in a barn in Sydney, and that had been put away in 1991. The car won the World Championship in 1988, driven by Mickey Bassion. It was then sold and went into Australia, where Greg Carr, an Australian rally champion, won the Australian Rally Championship in 1989, along with the Tasman Series in Tasmania, along with Rally New Zealand. So its first career was in the World Rally Championship, and it won that. And then it had a second career driving in Australia and New Zealand. So it's a 4-cylinder engine, just under 2 litre, turbocharged engine, making north of 300 horsepower, a complete scary car to drive. It's the last Lancia to win the World Championship, the Delta Integrale, and just a phenomenal piece of automotive engineering. Lancia Stratos. When this car was first built in 1972, it was a complete rocket ship. Designed by Marciano Gandini, who did the Lamborghini Countach and the Lamborghini Miura and a whole slew of Lamborghinis, and was certainly known for creating, one of the early wedge-shaped cars. Complete, must have looked like it was from outer space in 76, 72 rather. It has a Ferrari V6 engine, 2.4 litre V6. Same engine actually is in the Ferrari Dino and the Fiat Dino. It won the World Championship in 1974, 1975, 1976. This car was a factory race car and was sold to a privateer and competed in the Monte Carlo Rally. And it'll try to kill you, but an incredibly cool car. This is full circle for me. This is the car I saw when I was 15 years old in 1978 in Ireland, driven by Billy Coleman for the checkered flag team. So this is not that car, but it's a car. It's one of the factory race cars, same as Billy was driving back in the day. So to be able to be here today with a car that I saw when I was 15 years old in 1978, and be here today with the car that I own, that I found, that I've restored, is just, it's a fantastic feeling. '83 Lancia 037 race car, Group B monster. In 1983, FIA said Group B is a goal. World Rally Championship was for boys and Group B was for men. And it was completely out of control. 300, 400, 500 horsepower cars, weighing 2,000 pounds, screaming around country roads, and it just got completely out of control. Group B was outlawed, literally outlawed, between spectators getting killed and drivers getting killed in 1986. So they stopped Group B. These cars were built as out race cars. The Fluvia here, the Delta Integrale over there, or the Stratos were a variation of a street car, of a car that you could go buy. This was built as an outright race car. They made a couple of street versions of it, but again, this is the purest form. Lancia 037 race car, 2-litre motor, supercharged, making an incredible amount of horsepower for the weight of the car, upwards of 400 horsepower. This is a 1969 Lancia Fluvia Fenelon, which was a factory race car, Group 4 race car, approximately one of 600 that were built, and one of the very few cars that came with all the options on. So this is a very rare car. This particular car was built in 1969 and originally sold to a doctor in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands, and he rallied it and raced it extensively in 1969, 1970, 1971, 1972. It's the first Lancia that won the World Rally Championship. Not this specific car, but this car won the World Championship in 1972. So, a forest in 1978 in Ireland, right? And here we are, 1978 to 2015. I was 15 back then, I'm 52. My brother and myself were driving rally cars that we saw in 1978 in Ireland. And I think that's, what it's all about. It's all about race cars, it's rally cars, it's passion. And I think driving to Amelia Island is going to be an enormous amount of fun, and I'm done. Wow. Adrenaline, stress, 4 cars, people, drama, stress. Listen, we got 4 rally cars, we got them on the field, we made it to Amelia Island, and it's good. We rode to Amelia, we got here. 4 rally cars, one from Australia, one from Czechoslovakia, one from Switzerland, one from Tenerife, and we got here. So, there you go.